When you've finished transcribing all of your sound bites, go ahead and open up the TV News script template. So it's TV News template, and go to the File menu and choose Save As. Go ahead and replace where it says Template and type your name. So it should say TV News, then your name. You can just put your first name, last initial if you want. Make sure you use hyphens instead of spaces. Don't use all caps. Make sure it's upper and lower case or just all lowercase. When you're done, make sure you save it. Now, using OpenOffice, it might ask you to keep the current format or save it in ODF. You want to make sure you click on Keep Current Format. Now you've got the template saved. You're going to start by changing some information at the heading. So, first thing I want you to do is double click here where it says Title. Let me just zoom it in a little bit so you can see a little bit clearer here. And give it a simple title. Now in my case, I'm going to call mine About the Media Academy. You should come up with a short, simple title that describes what your story's about. Go over to where it says Date and put the day's date. Then down here where it says Reporter Writer, replace complete name with your complete name. And when you've done that, go ahead and save the file. Notice there are two columns in the template. The left is for describing the video, what we see on the screen, and the right hand column is for the audio, what we hear. What I want you to do now is arrange your template and your transcript on your screen so that you can go back and forth between the two of them. So I'm just going to go ahead and resize this a little bit, make it a little bit easier. I'll go over here and size this up a little bit where I can see things, and size it down a little bit. So you want to arrange it just so that you can see them both side to side on your desktop, so you can click back and forth between the two. Go over to your transcript and click and drag to highlight the first soundbite you have. Then use Command C to copy it. Then click back over in your script and look in the right hand column where it says Audio, and click not after where it says Reporter, but click after where it says SOT Name, and go ahead and do Command V to paste. Now you should have the first soundbite. Now where it says SOT Name, you're going to replace this later. Remember, SOT just stands for soundbite. And where it says Reporter, you're going to go ahead and add stuff later on. You're going to actually write your reporter track. Now notice the next thing I have is another line for the reporter, but I don't want that to be. So I'm going to click right here where it says SOT Name, and I want to go to the View menu, go to Toolbars, and make sure that I've got the Table toolbar showing. So I'm going to go up here, Toolbar, and click on Table. Now, if the toolbar shows up here along the top, that's fine. You're looking for some here that have columns and rows. Or you may have the toolbar showing up like this. Either way it's fine, but you're looking for this row here that says Insert Row. So make sure you've clicked in the soundbite, and then click Insert Row, and now you have a new row. You can use this one for your next soundbite. So I'm going to go back over here to the transcript, click and drag my next soundbite, Command C to copy, click in here, and go Command V to paste. You want to do this with each of your sound bites. So I'm going to go ahead and insert a new row. Go back over to my transcript. Click and drag to copy. Command C to copy. Click in my new blank space here under Audio. Command V to paste. I'll go through everything. Now when I get past the last one, let me just do this a couple more times, because I've got two more sound bites. And I've got just one more in this group. And I'll go down here and Command V to paste. Now that's my first group. I've left a space here because that's where I'm going to have the reporter talking. So go back down here for my next soundbite. Go here. Click in here. Paste it. I'll just repeat the process until I have all my sound bites. That's what you need. You need to get all your sound bites pasted in here so that you'll have your script ready for the next step. When you finish pasting all of your transcripts, your script should look similar to this. You may have fewer sound bites than this one. If you have any extra sound bite or reporter rows, just click in that extra row. So let me go down here to the bottom where there's some extra ones. I'll click in that extra row. Go over here in the table toolbar, go ahead and click on delete row and just do that for each of the rows that I don't need. Now, if I make a mistake, I hit delete column, for example, and everything goes away. I want to go immediately to the edit menu and choose undo. So I'll go back here and delete my last row. Okay. So I'm going to save the script. Make sure you save your work often. Next thing you need to do is go over to Final Cut Pro. So I'm going to go over to Final Cut Pro. I'm going to look for my first soundbite. So here it is in the timeline sequence. I'm going to double click it. It's going to pop up here in this viewer. So now I've got the part that's in the timeline, which is indicated by these two arrows in this little white space. If I click all the way here at the beginning, I'll be at the beginning of the interview and be able to hear what the name of this person is.
How do you spell it? My name is Crystal and you spell it Crystal.
So now that I know the name and how to spell it, I'll go back to my script. I'll find their soundbite. This is my first soundbite. I'll go ahead and get rid of where it says SOT name and type their name. Once the name's typed, I'm going to copy it, paste it over here in the video column, then return to Final Cut Pro, and here listen for their title and affiliation.
What year do you plan to graduate? 2013.
Okay, so for a student, their title is the year they plan to graduate. So in this case, I'm going to type class of 2013 on the next line, put a comma, and then their affiliation would be what school they go to. Now, if you have a story that has all students from the same school, they're all from Media Academy, you don't need to put their affiliation in. Remember, if this was an adult, you'd have their job title here, and then you'd have the name of the company they work for here. Go back to Final Cut Pro and choose your next soundbite. Remember, click on it in the timeline sequence, double click it, it appears up here in the viewer. You'll see the part that's indicated that's being used in your story, but you want to go back here to the beginning. Listen to the person's name.
What's your name and how do you spell it?
My name's Alondra and you spell it Alondra.
Stop it. Go back to Open Office. Go to the next one. Type the person's name. Put a colon after it. Double click their name. Copy it. Paste it over in the video column. And then go back and listen to hear what their title is.
What year do you plan to graduate?
2013.
This is another student, so we'll put down class of 2013, and we don't need the school name if everybody in our story is from the same school. And in this case, all of my interviews will be for Media Academy, so I'll just go ahead and get rid of these. And I'll repeat this process until your entire script has an indication of the person's name spelled correctly in the video column along with their title and affiliation, and there should be their attribution here, so just before their soundbite you should have their name appearing too. When you've completed this for all of your soundbites, save your script and you'll be ready for the next step, which is to write the reporter track.